So what is self-love? We hear a lot about it. Everyone's always talking about how we need to love ourselves. But what does it even mean? Well, today I'm going to dive into this topic, and I'm breaking it down into the 3 components that are actually what makes up healthy self-love. And one of these things is something that almost everyone misses. And it's a really big, important component, so you're not going to want to miss it. For those of you who are new here, though, I'm Ketra Thompson. I'm a certified master hypnotist and a life recovery coach. So what I do is I help my clients figure out what's driving their unwanted behavior, their unwanted feelings, their unwanted life patterns. We go back on a subconscious level and reframe those things subconsciously so that you can have this incredibly big leap forward. So you can finally have the momentum and change in life where you're feeling the change inside, not just knowing it in your head, so that you can create the life that you want, the love that you want, and really the self-worth that you need to have this fulfilling life. So if you'd like to learn more about that, check out the link in the description below. In that link, you'll be able to go to my website, see all of the stuff that I do, but you'll also, most importantly, be able to set up that totally free consultation call. That consultation call will allow us to have some time and to have a dialogue to get to the heart of what's going on with you, figure out if we're a good fit to work together, and hopefully get you a tremendous amount of clarity. So be sure to check that out. You can also download a totally free relaxation hypnosis recording on my website. That's my gift to you. And if this content resonates with you, please remember to click like and subscribe so you can be notified every time I post a new video. So let's take a quick look at what self-love isn't, because I think that's important and I think that it gets kind of confusing for people. So self-love is not narcissistic selfishness. It is not disregarding other people's feelings in a harmful way that causes damage or harm to them. Self-love is not spa days and pedicures and dark chocolate and a day on the beach, even though sign me up for any of those any day. I would love to do them. But ultimately that is not what self-love is. That can be a part of self-care, but even those things aren't entirely what self-care is. So I want to kind of just shine that light on what self-love isn't. It's not you disregarding everyone else's feelings and disconnecting yourself from them in order to just selfishly serve yourself. It's none of that. So self-love actually has 3 components to it. And the first, biggest, and really most important when you're starting this journey to creating more self-love inside of yourself is self-compassion. Being compassionate toward yourself is a really big deal, and no one has probably ever taught you how to do it. It's about accepting the fact that you're human. It's about allowing yourself to make mistakes, to really having a self-acceptance about yourself, saying, I don't have to be all good or all bad. I don't have to reach the standard of perfection. I don't have to beat myself up with negative self-talk. Having self-compassion is not negative self-talk. Instead, it's positive self-talk and compassion that says, I'm human. I'm going to learn more from my mistakes than I ever do my successes, so I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm going to learn from those and nurture myself. And self-compassion, as easy as that might sound, can be really difficult if you've never learned to cultivate it. If you've never learned how to stop that negative self-talk that's kind of going on in your head, then it can feel like a battle. The second thing is self-awareness. So when you're aware of yourself, you're tuned in to your thoughts, your feelings, your needs, your wants. You're dialed in to what your emotions and feelings are telling you, and you're aware of the messages that they're sending. Not only do you know you have an emotion and feeling coming up, but you know what that feeling and emotion is asking for. So you're tuned into yourself. You're willing to meet those needs for yourself, because you have to first of all know what those needs are, and you have to be willing to meet those needs for yourself. And you have to be able to have this willingness to express those needs to the world, because it doesn't matter whether or not someone else can or can't help you do that. That's just a part of being humble and human, which kind of goes back to this self-compassion part, knowing we need others. And we need to have the assertiveness in our life to express those needs to the people around us so that we can fulfill our own needs, because we can't do them all by ourselves. But first and foremost is the self-awareness. Now, the third component, and this is the one that most people really don't understand when it comes to the full embodiment of self-love, is they don't understand their absolute, almost primal need for connection. Being a part of something bigger than ourselves gives our life meaning and purpose. It means we belong to something. We know the part we're playing. And whether we want that to be the case or not doesn't matter, because we are hardwired as tribal people. So when someone's removed from their tribe, every alarm bell in their body goes off, panicking them to drive them to get reconnected. So when you think about days when we lived in tribes and we were afraid of getting chased by lions, we needed those other people. We needed the protection. And so we're still hardwired for that. And everything in our body starts going off in high alert when we aren't connected to other people. Our nervous system can't even fully calm down so that we can be self-compassionate and self-aware and all of these things without knowing that we're safe. And safety to a human is connection. So we cannot miss this piece. And everywhere in the world right now, people are more isolated than they ever have been before. So it takes much more intentional effort to be connected. Not just standing on a street corner surrounded by a ton of people, but actually have people that you can talk to, connect to, share with, and share your life with, really. So we need these other people to encourage us. We like to believe that we can do it all alone, and we're just supposed to be these badasses that conquer the world by ourselves. We don't need anybody, and learn to do it on your own first, and all of these things that are just prevalent in what we hear right now. But it's not true. Our nervous system does not relax without the feeling of safety and security that comes from deep, authentic connection. So connecting with others allows that nervous system to relax. It allows us to love ourselves and others from a state of calm centeredness. So the three parts again are the self-compassion, the self-awareness, and connection. All of these working in harmony help us to create an environment of self-love where we can actually thrive and flourish in our life. So now let me share a little bit about why this might be so difficult to accomplish. And it goes back to our subconscious programming. When we're born, we are born with our subconscious mind being fairly blank. We don't have a belief system wired in there yet. And so we start creating this belief system from our life experiences. And what happens is around age 7, we end up kind of locking down that belief system, where we can't get in and change it because we believe that it's 100% accurate. But the truth is, it's not. We built that belief system before we had any discernment or awareness. We didn't know if we didn't get our needs met, or we weren't being nurtured, or if someone was critical to us, that maybe the other person didn't have the capacity, or that they were tired, or that it had nothing to do with us. We don't know that, so we believe that it did, and we create these belief systems that say that we're not lovable, we're not worthy, we're not enough. We can't be ourselves with other people. And over the years, what happens is this buildup of our negative self-talk, our inability to be authentic in the world we live, our lack of support and connection because our own fears and vulnerabilities have kept us from making those authentic connections. All of it builds up and creates such an overwhelming pain inside of us that we know something's wrong. We know something has to change, and we don't know how to change it. And that's where hypnotherapy comes in, because we can talk about the need to change, we can read the self-help books, we can get the tips and tricks, but if we aren't working on our subconscious mind on a subconscious level, which is really only accomplished through hypnosis, then we aren't changing in a way that is sustainable. Or it's taking us so long to get there that it's exhausting. But hypnotherapy creates this process where you can make rapid change in a shorter amount of time that's actually lasting and profound in your life. Because most people are operating out of fear of rejection and that negative self-talk tape that's going on. And what I'm noticing in my work is that it's about the midlife point where people have had enough of this. They cannot keep functioning the way they always have. And most of my clients, I would say, are between the ages of 35 and 65, but a high concentration in their 40s and 50s of them hitting this midlife point of saying, you know, I don't know why I can't handle this anymore. I used to be fine. I used to never get anxious. I used to be able to handle it. I used to be able to function, whatever the story is. Now they can't do it anymore. And it's not that they were so much better before when they used to just handle it. It's that they were suppressing it, and their capacities to suppress it is now at its limit. Just like when you shove stuff in a garbage can and you keep pressing it down to make more room, pressing it down to make more room because you don't want to take it out, pressing it, eventually it is just about to explode. The plastic bag is about to explode from the garbage because it's been pressed down. And that's the point when people come to me and know that they need help. They don't know how to fix it. And the truth is some of them have tried and tried for years to fix it, and they don't have the right tools to actually feel better on the inside. So being connected to yourself and having that true self-love requires that you go through the process of integrating all of this old stuff, shifting those core beliefs that are driving those unwanted behaviors, so you address it at the root cause of what's going on and stop just trying to treat the symptoms, because that hasn't been working to this point and it's not going to work long term. So it's an incredible process. It allows for people to have incredible amount of growth. So I would encourage you today to check in with yourself, really see if that negative self-talk's going on in the back of your mind, if you're able to have true self-compassion for yourself, if you're able to really connect to what your feelings and emotions are telling you by having self-awareness, if you're able to meet those needs, if you're able to reach out to others, and how you see yourself connected to the community around you. Take an inventory. Start to ask yourself the hard questions, and then decide what's the next smallest step I can take to get me to the goal that I want in life. And maybe that's hypnotherapy, maybe it's another process or another path. Everyone has their own journey. But again, if you'd like to find out more about the hypnotherapy process that I do, this root cause resolve method, check out that link in the description below. You can find out more information there, and you can set up a totally free consultation call, because you are the only thing that you will never regret investing in. Cars will break, you'll move to different houses, but the investment you make in yourself is something you keep, because you are the one you wake up with every day. You're the one you're going to be with 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and that investment lasts. So be sure to check out all that information, and until next time, I hope you curate a life by your own design.